Welcome to Impolite MTG.
Where we're going to talk about Monopoly the Gathering.
And we're not always going to be nice about it.
I'm Chris A., Weatherlight Janitor.
Hey, I'm Dave, Guru of S'mores.
So, we missed out on being topical again, Dave.
Aw, god damn it. I tried to get you to do it last week, but you kept muttering something about your Houston Jones waifu pillow or some such nonsense. You were like half awake.
Yeah, I think you were dreaming again. Do me a favor, keep me out of those dreams, please.
Stop projecting. You were the one who was half asleep and drooling on your pillow.
And you're the asshole who called me at 3 a.m. talking about Monopoly the Gathering, whatever that is.
Yep, that's exactly right. Today, I would like to talk about the future of Magic and the new direction our corporate overlords have decided to take our popular precious paper murder rectangle game.
Yeah, so where do you want to start? Do you want to start with shifting to the original aesthetics of Magic, or...?
Yeah, I think that's a good place to start because I think that's one of the biggest issues with the Universes Beyond. There's sort of two issues. There's the mechanically unique cards,
Yeah.
which they're sort of rectifying. There was initially the push towards the aesthetic thing, with the Godzilla cards and all that stuff. So I think that's the best place to start simply because that's where it started.
Yeah.
With the shift away from Magic's aesthetic, it's not just happening with the Secret Lairs, the Universes Beyond.
No, it's been happening for a while.
We've had 2 years almost of Secret Lairs pushing the envelope of what a Magic card looks like, right? And then we've had the Godzilla cards in Ikoria. So we've had over a year of Magic not looking like Magic anymore.
Even before that, though, we had the masterpieces coming out with the different artworks and different styles there.
Yeah, that's a really good point that I hadn't even considered. Yeah, masterpieces don't really exactly look like Magic cards.
Amonkhet's especially, man.
Yeah. Hey, are you guys playing Yu-Gi-Oh?
I know, it's low-hanging fruit, but
yeah,
it's right there.
it is. God. Exactly. So to me, this is like a huge point that just can be thrown out, and I'm tired of hearing people, oh, Magic, Magic's aesthetics don't. Yeah, you know what? It's been happening for a while. You've been asleep at the wheel. So I just don't think that's worth being a sticking point for Universes Beyond at this point.
What do you think about the transition into Kamigawa 2077? Like, we've seen other sets go into like weird sci-fi takes with Mirrodin.
Yeah, the Nurok
In the Victorian era setting of Innistrad.
Yeah, Innistrad definitely. Well, yeah. Look at
It's actually gothic horror, I guess.
It's gothic horror, but yeah, you look at the the mad scientist stuff, and that's very science fiction-y, horror.
It's very much like Victorian era, like Frankenstein,
Exactly.
Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde sort of things.
Yeah, that's everything is doing on Innistrad. The blue-red decks. That's exactly what they're doing. There's arguments here that this groundwork for this has existed. They're just finally taking off in the rocket ship.
I think also complaining about like certain settings, like the Kamigawa set coming out, like people getting upset that it's not old school Kamigawa. Well, we know why. Old school Kamigawa didn't sell that well.
Yeah.
There's no reason to bitch about that anymore. We know why they did the change.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm upset that we're not going back to Kamigawa proper, and I understand why WotC won't go back to Kamigawa proper, but I think that's a misnomer in thinking on their part because, look, that was 20 fucking years ago. The player base is super different.
They're also the assholes who did it.
What was that?
They're the assholes who did it. They literally powered down standard, make Kamigawa weaker, and they turned around and they made it way too weak.
Yeah. No, Kamigawa as an idea isn't a problem because the players didn't like it. It was a problem because WotC failed to execute. And here's the thing. Kamigawa was also Baby's first top-down Magic set.
Yep.
It was trying to build an entire set from this one specific idea of Japanese culture. They've since had plenty of times to do that with Theros and Ixalan and Innistrad and all kinds of other stuff that's come along to give them top-down design lessons. Honestly, I think we could go back to Kamigawa proper and it would do just fine.
Oh, definitely. So there's a lot of talk about like this stuff breaking the immersion of the game. But the thing is, we've had alternate artworks for cards for years. There's at least 11 or 12 different versions of Counterspell, including styles you wouldn't expect.
Yeah.
And we also have players who've been altering cards for years. So this.
Yeah, since the beginning of the game.
Yeah, like I have seen people literally on YouTube like just take a card and customize it to how they want it to look because the original art didn't work for them.
Yeah, exactly. And then we've also seen people like Doodle SpongeBob and Darth Vader and
Oh yeah, we've also seen alter sleeves that do like the exact same thing now.
But no, I've always thought those were kind of tacky. But hey, man.
Yeah, I've seen a couple people rock their waifu fucking play mats in the LGS. And that's
oh yeah,
weird.
Yeah, that's always tacky, but yeah, no accounting for taste. But yeah, people have been customizing their Magic experience since the beginning of the game. And that's really what we've come into. We've come into a point where the game is being customized to fit different players' interests.
I mean, we've been doing it for years, so why can't WotC do it for themselves?
Yeah.
I think we got to move on past that.
Exactly. I completely agree. It's like Minecraft, you know? People play modded Minecraft, right? Well, if you want to play vanilla Minecraft, you just say, hey, I want to play vanilla Minecraft. So that's going to be the future of Magic. We just say, hey, look, I just want to play vanilla Magic. None of the extra crazy shit. Like, oh, yeah, cool. All right. I got a vanilla deck here on me. I'll play with that. And then everybody sits down with their vanilla decks, and people can still have a good time.
Yeah.
And it could just be a part of the Rule Zero conversation. It's just going to be another element of the conversation we have to have.
Yeah, honestly, I think people need to quit being so cynical about this and like kind of transition.
Yeah, that gets to the crux of the video and the reason why I wanted to make this video. And I specifically titled it Monopoly the Gathering because that's what we're moving into. That's what Magic is becoming. And I hate it. I think it sucks. I want Magic to be Magic. I don't want Magic to be Star Wars and Lord of the Rings and
Yu-Gi-Oh.
It was already Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
Amonkhet.
More Yu-Gi-Oh.
More Yu-Gi-Oh. You know, yeah, I don't like the idea of this stuff either, but there's nothing we can do about it. We made our stand with The Walking Dead.
We boycotted and we failed.
Yeah, and it turned out to be apparently the most successful secret lair that they've had yet. Of course, they see dollar signs in their eyes. That's what they're going to go for. While it sucks, I don't think it's all bad. I think there's some silver linings to all of this. And one of them is the fact that it's going to grow the player base.
That's a good thing. That's a really good thing.
Yeah, like can you imagine how many people might get into Magic because the Lord of the Rings set comes out and they're huge Lauder fans, and then there's a whole ass Magic set? They're like, hey, there's a whole set. You can buy all of the cards, and you can have Frodo and Gandalf and Gimli and blah, 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 blah. And you can have Bombadil and, you know, all these other characters. They can collect it, and then they might just decide, well, I have all these Magic cards. I should probably learn how to play the game.
The other thing is, like, we're seeing channels like the Command Zone start to bring on, like, bigger and bigger name celebrities into their show. Like, they literally just had Post Malone on there.
Yeah.
Now, Post Malone's, like, a huge part of the Magic the Gathering YouTube community. He's been on 3 or 4 different channels now.
Yeah, like, everybody's jumping at the chance to get to play with Posty. And then, you know, prior to that, we had Cassius.
Oh, yeah, he's...
20 years ago, if you had said you have NFL players and rappers playing Magic the Gathering, people would have fucking looked at you like you were insane.
Right, here we are. It's the world we live in now.
Yeah, there's no version of Magic that's bad when we have more people playing the game.
It means small channels like us have a potential to grow as well because there are more people coming in. They're getting more and more content, and it just helps everybody here.
Yeah.
And so, like, cynicism in the community doesn't really help at all. Bitching about what the products are, bitching about
how many products there are,
the direction they're taking the products. Like,
exactly.
None of this stuff matters anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. And all you're doing at this point, and this is a message directly for the professor and Mitch, the Command Zone, and everybody else. All you're doing at this point by being cynical and bitching about it and saying, oh, don't buy it, you know, just proxy it, you know, I'm not going to buy it. All you're doing is ruining your own content with negativity.
Yeah.
Pointless negativity.
Yeah, and bitching about reprints is just a terrible thing. And yeah, the list hasn't been executed perfectly. It's not the best answer to reprints, but it's the only answer we have right now.
Yeah.
And WotC probably won't fix it.
No.
They should. It's broken.
It is. They're doing the bare minimum to give us the cards we want. Look, bitching about the list, bitching about Secret Lairs and the secondary market. Yeah, we get it. We know exactly why certain Secret Lairs have 3 cards and some Secret Lairs have 10. We get it. They're pricing the secondary market, but they won't admit it because dealing with WotC is like dealing with communists. You're never going to get a straight answer, and you know they're always going to be full of shit. So it's like, let it go and pivot the discussion like we're having. Pivot it to the proactive things you can do. Focus on the relevant conversations that we as a player base can have. Instead of saying, oh, I wish WotC wouldn't make these Secret Lairs. Instead, focus on, hey, let's start figuring out how we can have dialogues about who wants to play with the Universes Beyond cards and who doesn't. Do we want to try and create like a vanilla Magic format? Start having those conversations. Stop bitching about the direction. Start thinking about how you're going to move forward because we can't stop it. So might as well be proactive about how we walk forward into the future.
I agree. And here's the thing. We're going to get Vorthos versions of the Universes Beyond cards, the ones that are mechanically unique. They're going to happen. They're going to come.
Yeah, they're going to come in the list, and apparently they're going to be like 1 in every 8 packs have a UB card.
Maybe I'll finally get a good set booster then.
Right, yeah. So they're going to try and fix things with the list, which is not the greatest answer, but at least is an answer. We've also heard recently that they're going to backpedal on The Walking Dead. So apparently we're going to get The Walking Dead in-universe cards at some later date. I guess maybe after Nuka Penne.
Yeah. I think it's dumb that they're not doing it right now. I think it's kind of bad they're not doing it right now, but...
Well, and then the other thing is, okay, so the in-universe cards are going to come in Streets of Nuka Penne. And then we just did the Secret Lair. The Secret Lair goes for a month. Then they're going to sit on it and, have to print it all up. By the time we actually get the Secret Lair physically in our hands, the in-universe versions are going to be right around the corner in the next set.
Yeah.
It's really not that bad.
I mean, it could always be worse with it too, right?
Yeah, they could have just said, screw you. We're doing these unique cards. We're doing them once, and that's it. Deal with it.
Yeah.
And this is, again, why the cynicism doesn't help. I think there is a silver lining here because I think WotC found out that, wow, this really did piss a lot of people off.
It's still pissing people off.
And I think they really figured out that if we do this, people are going to walk away from Magic.
Yeah.
I think they realized they were going to burn their player base. I don't think everything that's come from this has been negative.
No, it definitely hasn't all been negative.
Yeah.
Hasn't all been positive either, though. I mean,
no, for sure. It's been mostly negative, but I'm just saying, there are certain YouTube channels I don't follow, and I won't name them, just because they're always negative. They don't balance it out. Whereas I like the Professor, and I like Mitch, and I like the Command Zone, because if they do talk about negative things, they balance it out with, positive things. It could go the other way around. It could be like, oh, all they do is kiss Wizard's ass and whatnot. That would be bad, too. It's about, you got to balance these things out. But just constantly being negative about it is just not helping anybody, and it's just ruining people's moods. It's ruining our enjoyment of the game because everybody has to complain about where things are going when we've known where things are going for a fucking year.
Yeah. That's exactly it. I think before we wrap up, though, we should just address one thing about the channel. We're impolite MTG. It's not an excuse to be rude. It's not an excuse. But it does allow us a little flexibility of what we're trying to get across here.
Exactly.
And the fact that we're being less cynical and less upset about the current state of Magic than these bigger channels is kind of disappointing.
It is.
They're supposed to be the role models in the community.
Yeah.
And in them bitching, all it does is make the 10% of the community that is a bunch of whiners even more vocal and even more whiny about things.
Yeah.
And it helps nobody.
It's just fueling the energy on Reddit, which nobody should do.
Yeah.
This part of the video is directly oriented towards the other content creators. The channels that have 1 trillion more followers than we do, where we just started. But look, I started this channel knowing like, okay, here's what they're doing, here's what that guy's doing, here's what we can do. I just understood before we even hit record on the first video, there's no point in bitching about reprints. There's no point in bitching about Secret Lairs. There's no fucking point in any of this. All you're doing is ruining your fucking channels by being assholes. Knock it the fuck off so that we can all enjoy the game and move forward. I'm done.
Yeah. Well put there, Dave.
Earned our channel title today, didn't we?
Ooh, I think we certainly did. That being said, I'm Chris A. Weatherlight Janitor.
And I'm Dave, Guru of S'mores. Thanks for spending some time with us.
Yeah. And thanks for watching.
Hey, Chris.
Oh, Dave, what is it this time?
Who's a good commander to buy a dishwasher from?
I don't know who.
Baral, Chief of Appliances.
My God. He doesn't have the cleanest dishes in the multiverse, though.
No, that would be Apex Devastator.
Maelstrom Wanderer is close second, though.
Yeah, he is. Cascade.
Cascade.
Have a good one, buddy.
You too.